Welcome to the Purity Pulse podcast, your go-to podcast for the natural health industry and everything Purity Life. I'm Erin Macklin.
And I'm Judy Drapeau.
And today we're going to go through our regular weekly check-ins. We are going to interview the Vice President of Sales and Marketing from Dutchman's Gold. That'll be a good one. And then we'll do our regular new to Purity Life.
Oh, sounds exciting. I was thinking this week about cleaning.
Yes, I see you brought some spring cleaning products.
Yes, I brought some example of that, but it brought me to a time that I was thinking when my mom was, it's spring cleaning. And I don't know if that was like that with your parents, your family, but my parents were both smokers. So on top of that, I would say that my mom was taking that time very seriously to rub and scrub the house.
Well, yeah, because it would have been all closed off for the winter months, just like holding all of that in.
Yes. And she was taking, and I remember I was thinking about the product we use today and the product they used back in time. And I remember like Javex was the thing, even like to scrub the walls and the scent of that, like all the like really highly toxins coming to us and all that smell and scent. But I was wondering what it is, like, what is it for you? Like, what are you doing for spring cleaning? And did you have any experience like that with your family? Was that a thing?
It's funny that spring cleaning, I do feel like that was kind of the time when it immediately puts in my head the thought of cleaning the windows. Because it would be like when it was finally warm enough outside that you could open all the windows and clean both sides and whatnot. And that was always a bit of an event. So that was... outside of that, I don't think there was like a massive spring cleaning, but definitely the windows is kind of something that sits in my mind. Yeah. And I mean, my mom just used conventional everything. Usually off-brand conventional everything because we were very economical choices at our house. But it certainly they weren't going to the health food store or getting the natural options, but it also wasn't really much of a thing. There wasn't that much available then. Yeah. So you kind of go with what your options are. Yeah, but absolutely. Yeah, I find like back then a lot of stuff was just really heavily scented and you'd have all the impacts of that. And it's different at my house. I mean, we've got so many options available to us now, especially when, working at Purity, obviously, right? You've got a lot to choose from in terms of making sure that the products you're using don't have negative impact, right?
With kids, you have kids.
With kids.
You have animals and things like that. It's funny when I was doing looking in my cupboards and bringing things to share here with people who are listening to the episode, and I was looking at all the options, and it made me think that it's almost like a supplements. When you take supplements, you have capsules, you have gummies, you have different liquid forms. Yeah. Well, now because that category has grown so much, and I know that in conventional before, like it was like there's walls. You go to a grocery store, conventional is huge because they do have those offer, but they also have like a million type of smell and scent. Yes. We didn't have that, and it definitely developed. And I bring this up today because we do at Purity like an order form for spring cleaning or cleaning products. But definitely in store, it's important to have a variety of products and sets and scent, because some people there's the unscented company, unscented co. That is very good for people who are very sensitivities on that. I'm on the other spectrum, as I said many times. I come from the dark side, so I love the scent, but I want something that is natural as well, and that's what I wanted to share with you today. Yes. There's a couple of them that I really liked. So one of them is Mrs. Mayer's, and this one is called Rainwater Scent, and it's a room freshener. So in line with the, you'll see it's for those who are listening, it's a nice little
small spray.
Yeah, small spray, and after you do a little bit of a cleanup, or even when you're working in the office and you feel like it's a little stuffed and need a little freshener scent. I even think that in gym bags, it's great to use. Good idea. So that's a good
I think
product
this is
to
a
have.
new scent for them too. This rainwater scent. It's actually a brand new scent for them.
Yeah, it's beautiful, and it's not overpowering for those who don't like heavy smell. So that's one that it's kind of neat to have. Method has great option as well. This one is the Apple Orchard, and that's basically just a regular cleaning product for your counter and kitchen and all of that.
Yeah, Method's good because they do have this really specific things, right? Like this one's a granite cleaner.
Yes.
That's really kind of a sign of where we're coming to, right? Is all the stuff that you could find in conventional, you can find in natural options now too.
Yeah, and that's why it's good to have options and having like a full set, like a 4-foot section where you can have different options for your consumer. So they have the choice between, you know, conventional, but also you have your regular stuff. And one product, if you have dogs, I know that this is a all-purpose wipes. I love this, not only for counter and quick cleaning, but for my dog. When Miss Sintra comes back from outside and her paws are a little muddy.
It's the season for that.
It's absolutely the season for that.
This is a terrible
but they
season
always find
for
the spot.
Muddy dog paws.
Yeah. Don't walk on the regular straight, street. Just go right in the mud. It's much more fun.
Yeah.
But that's easy. So you have that at the door.
Yeah.
You can wipe the paws, and here they go. So just a couple of ideas here for cleaning.
It's funny I'm looking at these things. For me, I'm at the point now where I'm not even getting the individual bottles anymore. Everything I come home with is in the box.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Like now I'm buying, dish soap
Refill.
and laundry detergent all in the refill boxes and just refilling whatever I have. Attitude's great for that. Unscented's good for that too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
For me, where I'm a bit different, I love different scent. So I like certain scents for my kitchen. I had another scent for the washroom, the bathroom. So I like the small one. So every area has its own little
you can
thing.
change up as needed. Yeah, I'm content to pick one and kind of live with that for months on end until I get through the box.
Absolutely. But again, for our listener, it's very important to have that collection of options for your customers, and that's just going to help them to create a nice, beautiful spring cleaning in a safe way as well. So,
and spring's a time that we start thinking about things like bees.
Yes.
So let's jump into our interview with Angela Ysseldyk.
Yes.
And she is the VP of Sales and Marketing at Dutchman's Gold. Yes. She's got more than 25 years experience as a natural practitioner.
Yes.
And you'll hear from her. She's the one that speaks for the bees.
She speaks for the bees, and she's very knowledgeable. And I'm sure we are going to learn a lot about the bees. So stay tuned.
Here we go. So thanks so much, Angela, for coming to join us.
Oh, I'm so excited to be here.
We're excited to have you.
Oh,
I'm especially excited because I think we have a bit of a shared, almost childhood. Like we both come from immigrant parents from the Netherlands, right?
Okay, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, that's an awesome share. I love that.
I feel like we could probably connect on a whole bunch of different levels.
Like after the show, we need to talk.
Yes, we should sit down.
Two blonde ladies. I can see connection here.
Yeah. Some similarities.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Energy-wise.
And it was your parents that originally owned Dutchman's Gold, correct?
Yeah, exactly.
So give us a little bit of the background about kind of how you came into play and what that's all looked like.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think it's really a story about humble beginnings, strong family roots, and organic growth, right? So, my parents started Dutchman's Gold in 1981. They were traveling across the world and eventually me in tow. And they landed in Carlisle, Ontario, where they decided to start up on beekeeping.
Right.
With no beekeeping experience at all.
No background.
Yeah, they just had a passion and a dream to live off the land and make a go of it, right? And so that's really how it started. No business background either.
Yeah.
And so what started with 300 hives and a dream is really that humble beginnings piece, right? And so I think it's also a story about hard work and just tenacity and passion.
Yeah.
But if you decide you want to do something, you really can do it. And so it was also at a time too when health food stores were just opening, or it's that movement of wellness. And so they really took advantage of that organic growth. Like a lot of the grocers that were starting and not part of the big conglomerates right now, are still our customers today.
Right.
So, we were selling honey and beehive wellness products off our front porch, at farmers markets and, at some of the local stores.
Wow.
So I got to be a part of that as well, and with delivering honey and all that kind of thing, and making hand bottling and all of that, and just that entrepreneurship piece. And
seeing that I'm sure, like seeing that in your parents of that dedication and what they could create, and then like being a piece of every piece of it, right?
No, it's true. I mean, as a parent myself now, and I'm sure yourself too, you realize the impact of having that role model when you're younger. You don't always see it until later, but I think it's really that hard work, the the entrepreneurship piece, and really being authentic to where your heart and passion lies.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because that's where success lies, right? You don't want to chase the money. You got to chase your passion and your heart.
Yes.
And that's really, I think, what they taught me. And so the seed was planted earlier on, for sure. I mean, I got into nutrition and business. And, my husband and I took over the business in 2018 there was a lot of plans before that. And so we really now can bring the business to that next level where we bring that business background, that nutrition piece. I mean, when the business started, there was no marketing. There was no titles. It was really run like a farm, right?
Yeah.
And
Yes.
being
The
able to take
original.
things to that next level. And now that I've joined officially too, after working in the industry
Because you worked in the industry for years before you came back to the roots, basically.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yes.
And I think just it's been amazing to be a part of that. I mean, I worked for like the top nutraceutical companies.
Yes.
Everything from Lorna Vanderheg is one person that I worked for, is his true mentor as well, and all the way to getting acquired by Jameson and different brands in between.
Were you doing
And
sales and
Sales
and
and
I was
marketing?
doing sales.
Yes.
I was working at health food stores as well, actually,
Yeah.
but sales, marketing,
really?
PR, a number of different things. And I eventually ended up as director of education and training, which that's really the pillar of our industry, right? Is that education piece and being able to get people excited and
Understanding,
informed, educated around the products and the science. And so I get to bring all of that. And I just have, it's in my blood. I think it's just in my blood.
We can hear that.
right?
Yes, absolutely.
So
You're passionate. Definitely
Yeah,
about
that's
it, right?
That's
Yes.
it. And really taking a stand for what you believe in. My mom was really a believer in apitherapy.
Yeah.
And it was at a time too when it wasn't super popular.
Right.
You think about some of these pioneers that have really kind of forged that path.
Yeah.
Lorna Vanderheg, she's another one who really forged that women's health piece and women's empowerment.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then, eventually getting acquired. You do learn a lot from larger companies about, leadership and change management and, what it takes for that. So
Incredible experience that you've had to kind of lead you to this place where you've kind of come back to your roots and been able to take such a huge role.
Yeah. I mean,
so
things
neat.
happen for a reason, right?
Yeah.
Change happens. Sometimes it feels stressful.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's a plan.
Yeah.
And, if you can come back to your passion, I mean, I feel so blessed. I mean, I wake up on Monday morning, Sunday nights, I'm like, when do we get back to work again? Right.
Did you question it at any point? Like when that was kind of up for grabs, like, hey, are we going to move into this family business or are we not? Was that a difficult decision for you?
You know what? I wanted to, but I think my own fear was the thing that held me back a little bit.
Right.
It was just, my husband's an entrepreneur at heart. He owned a chain of health food stores. He's
Oh,
unemployable, by the way. So I was like in terms of, okay, I need to be the secure one, I guess. I've got to have a steady job. We got to make sure we got benefits, things like that.
Kids and everything.
And, 2 kids. But I think when you trust your gut, and my gut was always saying, do it, do it, take the plunge.
Yeah.
I probably should have taken it really and truly a few years earlier.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's just that risk.
The timing,
The timing and, but it all happened right when it was supposed to. I got a little nudge, right? I got restructured out and I was like, okay, this is my runway.
This is it.
And I haven't
my
looked
runway.
back.
I
I haven't
like
looked back. And I'm like, oh my goodness, this is so much fun.
Yeah.
And there's
in a whole other new way.
Yeah, there's a lot behind that your products and brand. I was just reading a little bit, and the UN that created an international day, like May 20th is an international day for bees, right?
Yes,
So
I
mean,
know.
as you said, at the beginning, your parents started that, but there's so much to it now, and looking into the the values of your company. What and the actions that you're you're putting as a brand to towards sustainability and all of that. Can you talk a little bit about that, because I think that's the core, because there's brands of honey and this and that out there, but I think you're very differentiated because of that too. Well, the core, the starting of your parents, but also all the values that you have.
What a beautiful question that is. I love that. I think, I mean, you're right. There are some days that are really recognizing the bees and pollinators. And when you actually look into it, there's quite a few. There's a lot. But we chose May 20th, which is World Honeybee Day, and then Pollinator Week, which is June 19th to 25th, because in Canada, in Ontario, in Canada, right, that's when spring is here and summer's entering. The bees are buzzing. There's a definitely more awareness around the bees and all of that. So we're passionate about the bees. Absolutely. I mean, the bees are very important to our ecosystem, our food supply, and number of things for our environment.
I was reading that, and
yeah.
it's fascinating. I don't know if you checked that out, but yeah, there's I think like 2/3 of the crops are existing because of the pollination. Pollinators.
Yeah.
And I always love. I remember when I was young and I was eating those the cubes, like the honey, like raw beeswax.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then
honeycomb.
Honeycomb. Exactly. Exactly. I was like thinking about that today, having you coming, and it's like, oh my God, that reminds me of my youth. That was so good.
Yeah.
But I didn't know, honestly, all the impact of the bees, right, in our environment and in agriculture and all of that.
It's so true. And I mean, you talked about values, and that's, I mean, it comes from where the roots were, right? Never forgetting where you came from and holding those values. But we really do rally around our team, like our customer. We're talking about Dutchman's Gold, right? So it's our team, it's our customers, and then treating everyone like family. Like, so just looking after each other. And then, things like, of course, integrity, accountability, which was something we've always been very important to us, and positivity too, right? I mean, being a small business, it's going to be a roller coaster, everybody.
Yes.
And so we're going to have to, look at things differently. There's always other perspective, and we're so blessed to have about 27 employees who are super positive, right? And so sometimes you just got to bounce that challenge off of someone or that lesson. And it's like, oh, there's another way of looking at this. And then of course quality. And so quality is everything from farm to finish, and making sure we put our best foot forward always. We've had relationships with the CFIA, the Canadian Food Inspection Agency, since the beginning, even before there was an adulteration issue. It was very important to us to put the best, the most premium honey forward. But there was a time where there's some adulteration happening, and not everyone was being very honest.
What is that? Tell us more about that. What does that look like?
Yeah. So I mean, that's where there's Canadian honey being mixed with offshore honey and not being true on the label, or sugar being added to honey as well to spread it out a little bit. Because the cost of honey can fluctuate. It's kind of a commodity, and so if the people are in it for the wrong reasons, then sometimes that can happen.
Companies, that's exactly right. Companies that are cutting corners just to get more profit, essentially.
Exactly. And so that's been clamped down a lot lately. So you really can't get away with it in Canada anymore. But so just things like that when it comes to quality. But our mission weaves in, I mean, all those values are really how we do our business and our culture of our company and all of that. But we rally around our mission, right?
Yes.
So Dutchman's Gold for over 40 years, we're very proud to be manufacturing the highest quality products from the beehive to enrich the lives of our customers, our bees, and the environment. And so when I came on board, I realized we haven't really told people this.
Right.
I'm
and
like,
that's key.
That's right. We don't believe it.
You guys, but
we're like, marketing? We don't need marketing.
We do good products. We put it on the shelf. That should be enough, right?
You don't need a title. Like, we don't have meetings. So we've had a lot to do
You've
with
been
changing.
a blessing with the company because you're very good at that, definitely.
Yeah. So, I mean, that we coined a phrase, or not a phrase, we've coined something called our Bee Friendly Promise, which is all about, and it's trademarked and everything like that, really supporting our local beekeepers who look after our pollinators. So supporting our pollinators, utilizing sustainable packaging. 90% of our products, even our spray bottles, are in glass, right? So that's not always easy. I mean,
let's talk about
heavy shipping, everybody. Like honey already weighs more than water by weight, and then you add the glass factor in there.
And then like the potential for damage and all that.
Exactly. And then from there, it's using clean, sustainable ingredients that we recognize. Whether it's our supplements or our HABA and all of that, and then finally the quality piece comes right into that pillar as well. And so we do like to be able to bring that awareness with some campaigns in that. We weave it in all throughout the year, but especially during those times. So World Honeybee Day, Pollinator Week, we're going to be talking about a lot more in the media. We'll be doing some PR campaigns.
It's important. It's important because even for retailers that are listening, I think that too often, like your brand as an example, will be put on shelf, and there's not enough of that talking around because again, like I didn't know about the impact so much on the the pollinators, and now it impacts so much more and the quality of the product. And I think that it's important that we do that on that special day, that in store definitely there's some raw but even around the year, and really explaining. And I mean, you're so passionate. We've been working with you for a bit now and close closer in the past months, and I would say that you definitely embrace all of those values, and you're so passionate that I think that spreading this word and having you today on the podcast it is very important for us to share. Not only that category of products is important, but there's a ripple positive effect on the environment as well.
Yeah.
So
that's. I mean, I agree. I think there's a role, right, and a responsibility there to bring. I mean, we want to bring forth the best products, of course, but if there's a higher mission there, or something that's a greater kind of collective need where that environment comes into play, making those connections is going to be up to us as a brand, but also the retailers as well.
Absolutely.
Right. So when a customer can reach for something that's good for them, for their health, right, and for the environment, it's a win-win, right? And so, things that we can do as retailers on the shelf would be, being able to have displays that bring in the elements of the bees and reminding people of the importance of the pollinators, maybe through signage or, even what we're doing actually is something really cool. We don't, and I think I want to share it as well, is just that over that period, we're going to be helping Canadians plant 2 million perennial wildflower flowers, which are pollinator friendly, which will equate to about 1,000 square meters of pollinator friendly gardens.
Oh, cool.
So we're running campaigns where we're giving away these seeds. I'm going to give some to you as well.
Yes, absolutely. I want to be part of this.
Yeah, and we'll do it with my kids and their classes and things like that. So I just think that's really cool. And imagine, if all the stores were doing that, if you've got a flower center or something like that, put your honey on the end cap, but then sell some of your wildflower seeds alongside.
And it's
or
a fun activity. As you say, in store too often, like you don't want just to have the products in the end cap, but you can have some demos to have some product tasting. You can have, as you said, flowers to show how to help, the environment. So there's different point of impact. That's exciting. That is so fun.
So that's just one piece of it.
Yes.
And then there's just when you purchase from brands that especially local beekeepers or beekeepers from Canada, you're supporting those beekeepers.
Yeah.
And a lot of times we associate beekeeping with honey, but there's so many other products.
Yes.
Underneath the hood of that hive that are fascinating. Like, it is amazing what happens underneath there.
Yeah.
It's a whole other ecosystem, right? Have you ever had that experience where you look under the ocean and if you do scuba diving or snorkeling, it's like, wow, it's a whole other world. Well, there's an intelligence under just the hive itself.
Well, all the key benefits of all the ingredients can be used, as you said, skincare, as you have like products and haba and all of that. So it's not just ingesting product, but it's also all the other active ingredients. Exactly.
What are some kind of key things that we can tell retailers that set these products apart from some of the conventional products that they could be sharing with
that's
consumers?
A good question. Yeah. I mean, I think the biggest thing is looking at honey, just at honey in general. There's pasteurized honey and then there's unpasteurized honey. Okay. And so all of our honey at Dutchman's Gold is unpasteurized, meaning that we haven't made it, heated it to the point of pasteurization. So pasteurization is applying basically really high heat to the honey to preserve the shelf life of it, right? And so when it's on the shelf, it looks liquid longer. Okay. And so that's really the main reason. However, but honey doesn't actually ever expire. Did you know that?
No.
Doesn't ever expire. So they found honey in like mummified graves and things like that. Not that we need to
eat
Egypt
it. Or something like that.
Something like that. But it actually is proven to be still okay.
Right.
You can still survive.
Honey's natural antibacterial, antimicrobial. And I can talk forever about all the nutritional benefits of it too. Keeps itself kind of preserved, right?
Yes.
But there's a misconception because, unpasteurized honey will crystallize a little bit faster on the shelf. And so sometimes it's like, it's like the organic versus non-organic. Is this still okay? It's a bit bruised, but it's still fine. It's still 100% fine.
I was going to say, do we care if it crystallizes?
No, we don't really care, but as for the look of it,
it's the look.
It's just the look.
But there's no detriment to the actual
no
honey.
detriment. Yeah, so that would be one difference, is that it's unpasteurized honey that we use. Okay. And then, I mean, just knowing the story of the brand, like we are 100% authentic, right? Like beekeepers that are, been around for a long period of time, doing this with heart and soul, right? So just knowing, there's a lot of great beekeepers out there, and there's a lot of great brands out there too. So it's just kind of asking those questions and just and being clear on that. Yeah.
And I have a question that might be a little not sensitive, but we're with the trend of no sugar, and I really want to secure people that yes, honey is a sugar, but it's a good one for you.
Yeah.
So how do you address that comment that people say, oh, I'm low sugar, I don't want to take honey or this or that? Or
It's a really good question. I mean, actually, we just ran a campaign called the Sugar Swap Challenge in February, where we're really encouraging people to swap out refined sugars, such as like just white sugar and brown sugar, things like that, for more unrefined sources such as honey and even maple syrup.
Right.
So just off the top, right? When you look at honey, I mean, yes, it's a sweetener. You're going to get that. And so it's never going to be 0 calories or anything like that. That's a whole other different consumer.
Yes.
But for honey, for example, it's richer in taste and aroma. You're going to get a different culinary experience just from the taste of it, depending on where the regions are that the flowers are placed. So that whole piece there. But from a nutritional aspect, to your point, it's going to taste sweeter, so you need less.
Right.
So it's for every 1 cup of sugar, it's 2/3 of a cup of honey, as an example. So it's less. And the same thing with maple syrup as well, which we do too. But that's a whole other conversation. But it's less on that. And then and of course I'm biased. I grew up on a honey farm. Everybody, like we didn't have sugar
and you're
in the
glowing,
house.
so that must have some benefits of that glow, right?
We didn't have sugar in the house.
There's benefit definitely on the. It's not like white sugar that it's just straight sugar. Like as you said, for immunity and all of that, there's a lot of benefits.
And that's the second point. So good point there. And so it's a lower glycemic index compared to sugar. And then when you look at it from almost a functional food standpoint, it's unpasteurized honey, raw honey, loaded with enzymes, amino acids, antioxidants, prebiotics. Like what the heck? This is like just on top of it. And then you look under the microscope even further. There's minerals, there's vitamins in there too. So you're going to get more bang for your buck. And aren't we doing that these days? Like we want to reach for something that's good for you, and it's got a little more into it. I mean, we don't have time to be adding all these things and all that kind of stuff. So
and the fact that it's and I mean, with the trend of better for you, it's definitely a good answer for retailers to put that as a better for you option. You like sugar, but here you go. At least there's added benefits to your usage, and you still get a little bit of fun, using.
Yeah, what a great promotion!
Yes.
Easy to kind of put that out on the shelf and
absolutely
kind of play around with that from a marketing perspective for sure.
Yeah.
Sweetener with benefits.
Sweetener with benefits. Coin that. Love it. Love it.
Tell us a little bit more about the Pollinator Week and how you're going to celebrate that.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I love this. I mean, beyond helping Canadians plant the wildflowers, which we talked about, which I'm super excited about. We do have a huge PR campaign. We're going to be running specials for retailers to participate in. We have a website, and we're going to have a whole bunch of different things for retailers to utilize, social media, and to share sort of that awareness. It's really about building that awareness,
yes,
and just so connecting that back, right? Because we do have an issue with the honeybees, and we want to make sure that we're, there's things that we can do at home, and making sure we're educating people around that. We talked about pollinator-friendly plants, but there's also eating organic if you can, right? Because pesticides are another reason. Bees don't like pesticides either. Monocropping, so if we can just start to create a little bit more change and force change with our wallets, choose for organic if you can. That's another thing you can do as well.
That's interesting because I think, the organic versus conventional is a regular conversation, but not often do you hear about that choosing that for the health of the bees and the health of the environment from that perspective.
Yeah, it's a whole other thing.
And you look on shelf in conventional, you will see lots of honey product, but again, there's no awareness. And I think that's our industry that, we can absolutely jump in there. And to all the retailers out there, please jump on this opportunity to spread the word, because it's amazing to support that. It's good for all of us in different aspects, right? So
I think so. I mean, I want to be the advocate for the bees.
Yes.
And I want to be able to help retailers as well. I mean, I've had experience working, as a sales rep, and I know what it takes, right, to execute on something.
You have great ideas.
So if we can, I got lots of ideas, and and wherever we can, we want to be able to execute and work together on something, as well.
And absolutely with Purity, and we're going to help you out on that, because we want to help in store and create that awareness and be creative. Like get out of just having the products on shelf and think that it's people will be educated that way.
Tell the story.
Exactly.
Yeah. And the other thing too is we have bee pollen displays that we're putting out as well. So not just the honey, but some of these other ingredients as well,
Yeah.
right? As we get into springtime and summer, you know, there's a lot more utilization of propolis, bee
yes.
pollen, you know, things like
Allergies and
that.
whatnot.
Yeah, allergy season.
Yeah.
I mean, bee pollen. I grew up on bee pollen. Like I had a
I
rule. I
love
had a rule.
this.
My mom would not let me leave the house without having my teaspoon of bee pollen.
I take
Wouldn't
that.
let me leave. She's like,
Yeah.
getting on the bus. Did you have your bee pollen?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my goodness. Okay,
the
like
other kids
my
were like,
face is
"What?"
beet red. Like, who knows about bee pollen? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
It's a fabulous
I'm so grateful.
product you can use on
Yeah.
a lot of things. Like
Yeah.
just as a little snack, I put it over my, I do protein powder, and then I put that over every day.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
And
so good.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah. I mean, I've
yeah.
heard you talk, you know, about, you know, greens and mushrooms. It's kind of along that same
Yeah,
realm
its
where
own superfood.
it gives another superfood, right? And so
Yes.
it's loaded with vitamins and minerals
Yes.
and antioxidants. I mean, look at the color. It's
Yes.
vibrant orange
Yes.
and yellow and all of that. And
Yeah.
so it is literally the flower, pollen, nectar combined.
Okay,
So when
that's
the
not-
bees go to
yeah.
pollinate the flowers, they collect the pollen on their legs and they mix it with
That's
nectar.
okay.
Yeah. And so it's literally, you're getting like energy from the sun.
Right.
Right. And it's just, ours is freeze dried. It comes in granules, comes in capsules, depending on what you want. But you're right. Smoothies.
Yes.
Add it to your granola.
Oh,
have
yes.
a teaspoon. Or now I'm on a
And it's
tablespoon a
beautiful.
day.
Yeah, it's very,
yeah. And your skin will glow.
Yeah.
I can't say that Health Canada wise, but I mean, yeah. So.
How do you collect it?
Yeah, I mean, it's a very special farming technique. So not all farms are set up for that. From a, you know, it's kind of a bit of an immature market in Canada. I will say that.
Okay.
So we do work with a few beekeepers in Canada. We get a smaller amount in Canada. So it's a smaller batch. And then we also partner with a couple of international beekeepers
Yeah.
Yeah.
to get just where they're more mature. I mean, when we think
Right.
about these ingredients.
Oh, in Europe, yeah,
Yeah, in
definitely,
Europe,
yeah.
it's way more established.
Yeah.
It's part of the medicine every single day.
Right.
Right.
Seen that a
Propolis,
lot.
royal jelly, bee pollen. So you're going to get a little bit more evolved with the farming. So as demand goes up, the beekeepers will start. It's a whole other technique, right?
Yeah.
It's not the same as farming for honey.
Right.
You've got to have catchers, and it's just a whole other piece. So yeah, but I mean, yeah, there's
So
and
do
you want to know.
brush off the legs? Is that how that
Thank you.
works?
I'm still trying to-
It kind of
I don't
collects
understand.
it.
How
Yeah,
do we
it's
get
like a
this?
collection piece that is in the hive, right? So it's almost
So
like
it just
a,
fell off
So
there
as
naturally.
they
Yeah.
kind of go past it,
Yeah.
you're collecting
yeah, it's like a
it?
sticky little thing
Okay.
where it collects it.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out if there's a brush. I don't see that.
No, you don't
somebody
go on.
owning it.
Can I just brush your little legs there? Yeah,
Exactly.
If you want to enter this hive.
Yes, yeah. You gotta drop your
Exactly.
pollen before you enter.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You must
Goodbye.
rub your feet. Must rub your feet. But that's great because
Yeah.
I've been using that product, never thought about, but I remember seeing, bees with yellow kind of little legs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yes, I never thought about that. So
Yeah.
wow.
I mean, the
educating.
bees are so intelligent. Like
Yeah.
bee pollen is one, but then bee propolis is another. They actually go and they collect the resin and the gums and from poplar, pine, and they seal the crack. They create this substance like a glue
Yeah.
that seals the cracks of the hive, because inside the hive is like a production plant. Okay,
Right.
there's babies being born, there's newborns. We gotta and there's honey being made. They gotta keep this place clean. You can
Right.
literally lick the floors inside of a hive. It is so clean. But they put
need to see
propolis.
that. Yeah,
So
we
this
need to visit
propolis,
that.
this is
Yeah.
propolis that they use to seal the cracks. It's made of over 500 compounds. It's antimicrobial, antibacterial, antifungal.
Right.
Keeps the microbes out and the inside pristine. And so it's something that humans can use as well that has
Right.
the same aspects, right? And over 500
Absolutely.
compounds, a ton of research, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, the things we can say, an awesome antioxidant and for overall health, but then the really big thing is that it's a superstar for relieving sore throat and mouth infections.
Right.
So if you do find you've got a tickle in your throat, or you've been traveling, or you carry it with you. I know you and I were talking before, right, about that.
Yeah, the throat spray, for those who are listening, the glass bottle, fabulous. Like I travel with that all the time on the
Yeah.
plane. Even like I don't have anything, but just as
Yeah.
a prevention,
Yeah.
you just spray a couple of times. You're going to be surrounded by a million people,
Yeah.
shaking hands
Yeah.
and being close, back again to normal life,
Yeah.
and it's fabulous.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just. I swear by that for sure. Yeah,
That's amazing. I mean, it
Protective.
becomes almost a mantra in our house. And it was when I was
Yeah.
growing up. You feel like you're getting sick, or you feel something.
Yeah.
Propolis, propolis, propolis. And so
Yeah.
we used to actually eat the propolis as it was. Like, it's like wax and propolis.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't recommend it as much.
So it's a little harder
I would
to
say-
chew on.
and it does stain your teeth. Like if you do chew it
does
that
it?
way. Yeah.
Like
so
yellow?
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
So the spray is amazing. Comes
Yeah.
in capsules. Comes
Yeah.
in gummies. I actually felt, and I was saying to you both of
Yeah.
you earlier, I never get sick. Like I literally never get sick. sick.
Yeah.
I've been kind of burning the candle a little bit, gonna be honest,
Yeah.
with the kids' activities and stuff. And I was getting a few signs of, maybe just take a day off.
Yeah.
But I didn't.
Keep going. Yeah.
So Monday night, I was like, I think I'm coming down with something. I literally just, I
the
popped.
dance of the propolis.
I was like, okay, propolis gummies, propolis sprays.
Yeah.
Like I loaded up.
And
I'm doing pretty good, I would say. Like, I'm like, okay.
Absolutely. We can testify.
Right?
She's perfect.
But I do propolis every day anyways. But I mean, beyond just that, I mean, the research on it, for retailers listening, there's consumers that are researching propolis. There's different cultures that use propolis for other reasons, even if Health Canada doesn't say, right? There's a ton of research around it. And so it's just nice to have different options for people. And you definitely want to carry it. It's definitely a trending, maybe not trending, but the awareness on it is
that's
absolutely growing. Yeah, the discovery piece.
It's
and it's becoming kind of like that ingredient that is known for immunity and is known for sore throats.
Yeah.
And I think that people are going back to, again, what is closer to real food or real ingredients, because supplements are great and all, we all enjoy it, the convenience of everything, but when you can go back to the root, the honey, the base of the propolis and all of that, it's easier to absorb as well.
Exactly.
So it's great. It's exciting.
It's amazing some of the foods that are out there, hey? Like the superfoods and what's in them. And it's phenomenal. I agree. I think there's definitely a movement towards getting the most out of your foods.
Yes.
And Beehive products are definitely top of the list.
Well, it's a lot of education for us. Thank you so much.
Yes,
now
fantastic.
we're going to jump into some rapid fire questions.
Rapid fire. Okay. I can't even remember. What are they going to be? Let's go. I think you said a few things, but let's go. Okay.
Now, I know, we've kind of talked a little bit about your current career and you've had a whole bunch of other experiences and whatnot.
Yeah.
If you could pick a career that was outside of that, something completely different, what do you think it would be?
Okay, I mean, I have to say, right, just the fact that I'm loving the industry. I've been in the industry my whole entire life.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so it would be very hard for me. It would take a lot for me to move out of it.
Yeah.
I love what I'm doing. But I think if I had to pick something, it would have to do with something with travel and culinary. I don't know what. It would be some sort of where I could be a travel guide. Maybe I'm the Sherpa, walking people through trails.
Well, I need a Sherpa. I want to go to Everest. Let's make a deal.
But I need to know it first. Right? It's like that or being some kind of a chef, just mixing and matching things and just doing it. Yeah. So that would be really, it's like in the spirit of it, but outside.
Do you do a lot of cooking at home? Like, do you get into
If I had time, I would do more. I would do more. I feel like right now things are rushed with the kids and their schedules. It's the period of time where I've got a 13-year-old and she's turning 14 and then a 12-year-old and they're busy. So dinner's become just one of those things where like, oh, I got to make dinner.
Yeah.
And I don't like that because I do love making meals and stuff. But it's the time.
If you, I know that you're extremely busy, high energy, but what do you do to relax or to, kind of exercising? Some people exercise, some people meditate.
Yeah.
What's the thing for you?
Yeah, I love that. And I think you have to be intentional about it, about relaxing. Like I do. I have to plan my relaxing time. But I think every day, I'm into the whole, like I have to move every day. Like I have to move my body. I have a home gym. We have a sauna. We have a red light therapy, all of that kind of stuff.
Oh, nice.
And then the other thing that I do is I do like the binaural beats a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Like just some of those that I find that it really helps and I'll lay down
just
and
listening to them.
Yeah. And I actually have this thing called the Chi Machine. Have you ever heard of it?
No.
Oh my goodness.
Educate me.
I just heard about it. So we got one I got it for Christmas.
Yeah.
So you lay down on it, you put your feet on it and it kind of shakes your body a little bit.
Yeah.
But not in a movement, like it almost lulls you to sleep. It's like you put your feet up, you're laying down flat on your back.
Yeah.
And I do the binaural beats. I love habit stacking, by the way. So I might have the red light in the back. I'm like, how can I multitask here? Am I relaxing?
I need to do
it's bad. I mean, some of you listening, I see you nodding. I see you. You know what I'm talking about. How can I relax and do something at the same time?
I need to make it productive.
Yeah, exactly. It's like,
And so this is like end of the day kind of thing, or I'll so I try to at the end of the day really
more at the
wind
end
down.
of the day. Yeah.
And I've learned the hard way. You just have to turn things off after 7 o'clock. Like just shut her down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Good
I like
insight.
those.
Yes.
All right. So is there a natural health product that you can't live without?
Oh my goodness. Have you seen my cupboard?
We
literally have a cupboard that was custom made for the supplements. We had a health food store, everybody. I was working for like 5 brands at a time. Like, look at you. I mean, come on. We're talking to the same people here. Yeah. So I mean, I think it's
we're your tribe.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You're my people.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I take lots of things every day. Sometimes I switch it up a little bit. But I think, adaptogenic herbs have been a huge part of my life. Ashwagandha, love ashwagandha.
Yes.
I mean, you already said besides the beehive supplements. So ashwagandha, like, I mean, I worked for Lorna, so we had, it's Adrena Smart and other types of adaptogens. Collagen is also, I think it doesn't get as much rap as it's amazing. It's an amazing product. And so I love collagen every day as well.
Yeah. In a powder or capsule form?
Powder.
You prefer?
I do powder.
Too,
And you can mix with oatmeal and
I
throw it in my kids' stuff.
We really eat the same thing. I'm thinking about your mix in the morning. It really looks like mine.
I think so.
Yeah, it's easy.
And you know what? I think too, I do think, and this is free, but the sun.
Yeah.
Like, it's a natural product that gets underestimated.
Get out.
And it's just so important.
Yeah. Changes everything.
Yeah. And when I think about Purity, because I was like, oh my goodness, I got to say something that's at Purity. But it's true. There's a lot of things that we get from Purity. And the thing that I love right now, like that I've loved since the beginning, is the Routine deodorant.
Yes.
Let's give a shout out to Routine and their packaging. And, it's made with beeswax and all of that too. But I mean, I could talk all day about supplements. So I'm going to stop there. But like just everyone, I should take a picture of my supplement cupboard. And we can do it.
I want to see it because I'm very interested in this custom supplement cupboard.
Yeah. It's a pull out, and because you can't find
it
stuff.
Needs to be, I know. Mine's
you gotta
just
have a pull out.
I know.
And otherwise,
once
it's
one
all the
shelf
stuff
gets
at the
full,
back.
I start using the next one, and then the next one.
Oh yeah, we have 3 shelves. It's a 3-layer. It's
a
3-layer, and you can pull it out so you can see what's at the back.
And there's always extra on the counter, and we have like the department of protein side and what's going to be on the shake, and performance nutrition, and then the other supplements.
You're a mini store. You have a mini store in your kitchen.
Yeah, exactly. That's fantastic.
So fun.
Well, this was amazing. That was really fun. Your energy is wonderful, and the cause and the product that you have are definitely, we're very excited to work with you. And for all the listener out there, please make sure that you promote and you educate, because there's so much more to do for those little bees out there. We need to save them.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It was such a pleasure being with you both.
Awesome.
Thank you.
So today for New to Purity Life, Erin, we're super happy and lucky to have Angela, who's going to talk.
Keep her around.
Yes, keep her around and walk us through Dutchman Gold, some of the product.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm honored to do that. I mean, I think it's really awesome to see that we now have the honey listed at Purity Life, which is huge for us. I mean, it's a huge part of our business. And more importantly, this one here, which is very unique. It's small batch, everyone. It's our Beyond Raw honey, which my dad does himself. It literally comes straight from the hive. So there's raw honey and then there's Beyond Raw.
Right.
So raw honey is just, we have to filter it a bit because wings and different things. But this one, you may find a wing or two in here, but no, it's Beyond Raw. Yeah, it's absolutely pure. And so it's small batch, so it's limited supply.
Oh, neat.
So that's a really special one. And we're really, really happy to have our supplements listed with Purity Life as well.
Yes.
And so the propolis is huge, as we were talking about in the episode.
So that's the throat spray?
Yeah, the throat spray. So we've got the honey mint throat spray, which is just a really nice mint flavor with 167 milligrams of propolis per serving. So that's really, really great.
A must in your purse and pocket, everybody.
Oh,
yeah. Take it with you. You know, even if you're cheering for your team, a sports team or something like that. I mean, sometimes your throat gets at the CHFA or whatever it may be.
You speak a lot.
You know, you're talking a lot. It's 5 sprays for per day per serving, and then there's our gummies, and the gummies are just 1 per day.
Yes.
And so these are sugar free. Sweetened with stevia, and it's just a great option for helping relieve that sore throat and mouth infection. If you don't want to use the spray, it's a great one to use, and that's a really good that way.
For kids too.
Good for kids too. And I think formats is important for consumers, right? They want different format options. Gummies are really trending. I know as a mom, I don't want to have all the sugar in the gummies.
Yes.
And we did actually try to find a honey gummy that we could make with honey, but it was really tough. So we were able to find a sugar-free gummy, and so that's really exciting. exciting that way.
Neat.
Yeah, and we're updating our flavor, which you'll see coming up in April or end of after this episode launches.
Okay.
We'll have the new flavor.
Awesome.
And then royal jelly, which is exciting as well. Royal jelly is royal jelly. Do you know why it's called royal jelly?
No. Oh, the
Royal,
it's like for the queen.
The queen.
The queen,
The queen
yes,
bee.
yes.
Yeah. So this is what's
From
fed to the
her,
queen
yeah.
bee
Oh,
to keep
okay.
her, she's the one who lives the longest out of all of them, 3 years compared to 25 days because of the
Wow.
royal jelly. Anyway, but royal jelly is literally like bee milk or breast milk for the bees.
Yeah.
And it's just really awesome as a nutritive tonic and loaded with antioxidants as well. And something that is just so much research on it for many different things, and
You
it's
just got really
nice.
intrigued there, didn't you?
Yeah,
I feel like you just
I
looked
did.
at
yeah.
I'm
I'm gonna
learning
add
so
this
Yeah,
to my
it's a
regime.
little secret. It's a little
That was my
secret.
face.
I can see it.
And I mean, the point of difference, you don't see a lot of just plain royal jelly supplements out there.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
just royal jelly.
Yeah.
And so it's got that 10 HDA in there, 4 to 6%, which is really important.
It's got that- sorry, can you
It's
say
called
that again?
10 HDA, which is it's. I'm not going to say the long form for it because no one really cares. But it's basically the main active ingredient that makes royal jelly so amazing.
Yeah.
It's a distinction, whereas propolis has its own thing and bee
Right.
pollen has another.
Okay.
And so that's the royal jelly.
It's
so
a
that,
superpower.
superpower. Yeah.
Yes.
And then we've got our bee pollen, which is one of my favorites.
Oh, me too.
Superfood every day kind of thing. Add to your smoothies, throw it on
Yes.
your granola, have it on its own. Mix it in honey if you want. Add it to your yogurt. Lots of different ways you can use it.
Yeah.
But it's just literally nature's multivitamin and superfood, and really something that's been really trending. We're seeing huge growth in bee pollen, and just even according to the global data as well, it is something that's growing globally as well. Demand is increasing, so supply, right? That's the only glitch, but we're okay. Don't worry. Purity life.
I think that a lot of
Yeah.
there's a big trend of those smoothie bowls.
Yes.
And
yeah.
I see in many restaurants or places they always finish it by having the bee pollen
Yeah.
on it. So
Yeah.
hey,
Yeah,
a new
exactly.
trend.
Yeah, so that's just something that people can reach for, and retailers can reach for as well to make sure consumers have it.
yes.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
Thank you for walking us through all these beautiful products. And yes, I'm leaving with the
You can take that
the
royal
royal
jelly.
jelly.
And also just want to make sure that the retailers are aware, New to Pure Life, their back to school promotion is coming out. It's starting very soon. Check out the show notes to check out our back to school options as
Absolutely.
well.
So thank you for listening. This was such a great episode.
She's lovely.
Yeah, she was. Don't forget to like and subscribe and send us your feedback at marketing@puretylife.com. You can also follow us on Instagram at Purity Life Health Product LP and myself at JD_girlpower.
And I'm at Erin G. Macklin.
And who do we have next week?
And next week we have Amy Westerveld, which is, she actually works with us at Pure Life, and she's our health and wellness coordinator.
Stay tuned.